How did you feel hearing the news that PBC offered Canelo a one-fight deal with Jermall Charlo?
I had to really pay attention to that, to be honest with you, man. I believe that the Canelo team and his team have worked so hard. They have dedicated their lives, and they deserve what they have, you know. I don't focus on anybody else, or how much money they make, what they do, or who they fight, or whatever, you know. I just focus on what I have and what we need to do, and stay focused, keep working hard. They deserve everything. The Charlos deserve everything they have. The Canelos deserve everything they have. They've been here before us. I didn't even think we were going to compare ourselves to fight them, and we're here. So they deserve every penny that they have got, and I congratulate them, and I'm happy for them. But I don't even know what would I opinion. I mean, if that happens, it happens. I would love to see that fight, but I try not to see what they're doing.
You think that the Charlo Canelo fight is like the time is now? Is the time more right for Canelo Charlo than it is for Benavidez Charlo? Because
I'll tell you what I think about that. When it involves David, there's a reason why Charlo doesn't want to fight David. I reach out to his trainer. I reach out to our promotion company to make that fight happen. I knew that fight was, it's a very dangerous fight for us. I don't know if we're ready. We might be, we might not be. We don't know until we fight. But we're willing to take that risk. And it's a big risk, and we're willing to do that. So I reach out to them. They don't want to do it. The same thing with Canelo. We tried to reach out to them. When David was a champion, they were not interested, and we let it go. And when David lost that belt, he was interested to fight for the 168. And in a way, I feel super happy that these guys don't want to fight him, because they got respect for him. And they see that David's a dangerous fighter. And I don't think they're 100% that they're going to beat him. So that's why they don't want to fight him. If they thought that he's an easy fighter, they would take it right away. Easy money, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, it makes me happy that they don't want to fight him. And if it happens, it happens. If not, we'll continue to work hard. Al Heyman's taking care of David really good. I'm super happy with what he's doing. And he has to fight a little bit more fights in order to get that purse. No problem. We get more experience. Now, the fight with Canelo and Charlo, I think it's a good fight for Canelo, because they turn into a business people now, and they know how to select, and they're in that position to fight whoever they want to fight. They don't really care about history. I mean, making history and being there. It's more about the money. And I think the people,
but that's
the Mexican
my thing.
people.
Is there more money in the African American? I know that Floyd likes to call it the green print, you know, an African American with a Mexican, but when you look at Canelo versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that did 1.1, and that was Mexican versus Mexican. There was a time where people wanted Gilberto Ramirez to fight Canelo, which is Mexican versus Mexican. Obviously, with your son being of Mexican descent, isn't that the bigger fight, or is Charlo still the bigger fight because
I think
of the
that the bigger
print?
fight right now is David against Canelo, because everybody wants to see that fight, and Canelo doesn't want to fight him. Now, Canelo wants to fight Charlo because he's a little guy. He never fought at 168. And Charlo wants to fight Canelo. It's a payday, you know. So, but I think, and then this, I like both fighters. I follow both fighters. I like their styles, and when they fight, I don't miss a fight, Canelo or Charlo. The Charlo brothers are very exciting fighters, really good fighters, very intelligent. But I think Canelo has the advantage, because Canelo's been active. Canelo, it's stronger, and Charlo, they haven't been looking good. You know, they're going through some stuff, that focus and other things that people don't know. You know, like in my opinion, I see them drinking a little bit more and partying a little bit more. They're not as dedicated. Canelo's dedicated. You know, Canelo, it's a bigger guy. He's a little bit more dedicated. And then he has more advantages when it comes to negotiation. You're gonna have to come it this way. He has more things that he asks for, and he takes all the advantages. So I think it's a good fight for Canelo, not for the Charlo. And I think Canelo would take this fight, in my opinion. it's going to be an interesting fight, and it's going to be a really good fight. But when you put David against Canelo, a young guy that we don't even have a date yet, and we're getting ready, we're focused, and things happen for a reason. What David went through, it was a blessing because he matured, and now he knows. People are saying that, oh, he doesn't make weight. Only one time he didn't make weight. All these other times he's been making weight. But in their minds, so they try to talk about that, and he's focused, man. He's a dangerous fighter. He's more mad now, and he's super dedicated and making a lot of sacrifices. So that's what the Canelo team see, and that's why they want to go to the other route,
Let's talk about that for a little bit. I did touch on it with David, and he told me, because obviously there's a stigma out there, like you said, that there's a lack of discipline, that he parties, and he made it clear, look, that was one time, I was young, and it's the money. I'm making good money since I was 20 years old, so I didn't know how to deal with that. But you as the father, how did you deal with it? Looking at your son, you have to give him advice. Hey, don't spend all your money. Be careful. Women, everything.
Like I said, in life you got to make adjustments. They become adults, and you gotta let them make their own mistakes. Of course, I was heartbroken when I heard the first time actually when he signed with Top Rank. I have left to Mexico with another fighter. When I came back, somebody got in his head and took him but thank God I was able to talk to Bob, and we got him back. But when that happened, it was like,
but wait, how can someone take him and just sign him to Bob without you?
Well, let me tell you, and I'm not saying his name. I never say his name. His name is Alex Ariza. He did the same thing with
Ariza.
Pacquiao.
Ariza? Okay,
he did the same thing with Manny Pacquiao. He did the same thing with Amir Khan. He did the same thing with Julio Cesar Chavez. So he begged me to give him a job, and he was my friend. And I told him, no, man, I'm not going to give you a job because I know you're really good at what you do. You're the best, in my opinion. But you're going to keep doing what you keep. Jose, please, I put it on my daughter's life. Just give me another chance because I need another. I'm dying, man. Nobody wants to give me a job, and this is what I love. This is my passion. I promise you on my daughter's life, I will never do that to you. I trust the man. And he goes and does it with Billy King. That's another that they work together. So, but I want to thank him actually because that thing got me to a bigger thing. Actually, like I said, things happen for a reason. It was a blessing. And if I seen Billy King, and I talked to Billy King, by the way, if you watch the video, hey, how you doing, brother? Also, Alex Ariza, man, things happen already, thank God, everything's going well, and if I see him, I would say hello to him. I have nothing on my heart or whatever. That was a bad thing to do, but like I said, thanks to that, everybody was more interested in David. So we got him back, and everything went well, and then the second time when he got caught with recreational substance or whatever, it broke my heart, man, because I was like, man, I been talking to you about this, and it's just so hard, man. It's even hard to explain, man. I was heartbroken too the second time, but we worked together, we talked about it, and we got help, and we been working on it, and everything's been going well. And the last time, he got a little distracted and started eating a little bit too much, and the same thing, a lot of money, man. A super young kid, buying Lamborghinis, buying all this stuff, and it got out of hand, and he was over 2 pounds, and he lost his belt, and that's why Canelo had all that space to do whatever he did, and he did it really good. But there you go, there was another thing there that, he needed in order to mature. Now, if it happens again, so he's been super dedicated in weight and everything. So he doesn't have a problem with 168. So in my mind, like I said, thank God those things happened early in his career. Because if I wouldn't have caught that with the recreational substance, it could have got bigger and bigger. And maybe later on, I couldn't stop it. Mm-hmm. So, he gets tested a lot now, so that's good, The weight, we don't even have a date, and that's why we're here. So at the end of the day, I think that worked to our advantage, and thank God Al Heyman and PBC, Premier Boxing, is still backing him up, and we had the support 100%, and he has another chance, and he's been taking advantage of that chance, and everything's been well.
Is Samson still in the picture, or is he just like on paper still in the picture? Because it seems like it's more Al and Louis DeCuba's kind of in the driver's seat of that career at the moment.
Sanson's always been in the picture. Sanson is the person that discovered David. I'm not like other parents that's always trying to demand and ask for stuff, Sanson does his job. He's the one that got the fight for Lemieux, and he does his work. His job is to go and get the fighters and get them paid as much as he can. That's his job. My job is to train him and to take care of all that. So he does his job 100%. I'm super satisfied. We don't have any problems. Like I said, he does what he does, and I'm thankful for that. And Luis de Cubas does what he does, and he does a great job at it. Al Heyman does what he does, and we have a great team, man. Everything's going well, and that's why you don't see Sansom a lot, because he has other fighters. But I feel that here we have everything under control, so there's no need. I mean, I just talked to him yesterday. I talk to him all the time, and he was a blessing in our life, and he was the only one that believed in David. And he's the best at what he does, in my opinion.
He found a lot of great talent in this sport. Pacquiao, Martinez, your son,
Exactly.
Javier Fortuna. I mean, the list goes on and on.